Hi, I hope you guys are having a great week. I just wanted to send you a quick YouTube video and let you know that Mary Grace Ruiz has volunteered, thank you, Mary Grace, to be your classroom manager. So when you have questions, because of my schedule, the way it is, and being busy, she can text me immediately and I can get you answers, okay? There are not that many of you in the course this summer, so luckily, you guys can really, band together and really help one another. I just wanted to let you know that today I Skyped this morning with one of your classmates, and she did a great job. I'm really, I'm really proud of her, Sabrina, who is younger than I am, but older than most of you. Was capable of Skyping with me and getting questions answered, and I want you to know that I'm available to you. That's why I'm here, okay? I'm starting a national writing project here in Pensacola, and I will be training 27 teachers in 2 weeks, so my schedule's nuts. Plus, they painted my office, so I first had to pack my office, which I'm a reading professor. You can imagine what that was like. And then unpack it yesterday. So it's already been a nutty semester for me, but you need to know that you are my priority, okay? This week in your reflections notebook, there is an entry, and I just wanted to show you. You can do this by paper. I know most of you are very savvy with technology, but you will be reading about what reading is. It is the reader, the text, and the context, which is the environment, coming together. It's a process of constructing meaning through the dynamic interaction of the reader, the text, and the context. And I ask you to think of, on the other side, so you get the explicit instruction, you're learning, and you're making meaning over here. And this individual said that sometimes the reader does not have the background knowledge or does not have the motivation or know the purpose of reading. And with the text, sometimes the text is too difficult or not intriguing enough or too much vocabulary that is unknown. In terms of the environment, maybe the teacher's not giving the student that purpose for reading. Maybe the student doesn't like the teacher. Imagine that. So I want you to make your own meaning of what you are reading in the lesson, and you either using the paper version where this person recreated the explicit instruction and then responded, or you can use the PowerPoint template that I give you, okay? One thing I really want you to get out of this course is that it is important, no matter what you are teaching or what you are doing, whether you are working in the court system, whether you are a PE teacher, whether you are an art teacher, you need to show your love for literacy with those students. And there is nothing better to corral some kids that are a little feisty on a Friday afternoon than reading aloud to them. And I want to tell you about the book series that Elena and I are reading. It is by Morris Gleichman. It's a series that starts with a book called Once. It's about a 10-year-old boy named Felix whose parents have placed him in a Catholic orphanage and have told him, you are Catholic, although he's Jewish. They tried to save his life, which they have been successful at so far in the book series. Felix thinks that his parents are trying to notify him that they are returning because they've sent him a carrot. He gets a whole carrot in his soup. And so he's convinced of that. Sorry about the dogs barking. He decides that he is going to leave the Catholic orphanage. And on his travels, he comes across a house where there are two adults that are shot dead on the lawn. All the chickens are shot dead, and there is a 6-year-old girl who is lying on the ground who's alive. Her name is Zelda. He decides that he needs to take care of Zelda. Her parents are dead. Zelda doesn't know this because she's on the other side of the yard, and they are off and away on an adventure. They are traveling, and at this point, they have come across a a huge amount of Jewish individuals that are being um, corralled by Nazis, and they are being made to walk. Felix is walking with them, with Zelda, thinking that she's going to find or he's going to find his mother and father. Okay, so I'm going to read an excerpt to you. Excellent book for history teachers. You just don't have to use the textbook. That's something that you need to remember. Once I lay in the street in tears because the Nazis are everywhere and no grown-ups can protect kids from them. Not Mom and Dad, not Mother Minka, not Father Ludwig, not God, not Jesus, not the Virgin Mary, not the Pope, not Adolf Hitler. Then I look up and I see that I'm wrong. Here's one doing it now. A big man in a scuffed leather jacket has his hands on Zelda's shoulder and is pleading with the Nazi officer in a foreign language. I think he's speaking Nazi, which is strange because he's wearing a Jewish armband. The Nazi officer lets go of Zelda's hair and raises his gun and points it at the man's head. The man doesn't weep or grovel. He lifts up his leather bag he's carrying, which is also fairly scuffed, and holds it in front of the Nazi officer's face. Why is he doing that? The Nazi officer glances at the bag, still looking bored. He raises his other hand, grabs a tuft of the man's beard, and twists it hard with his leather glove. The man stands there and lets him. The local people watching all laugh and cheer. The man looks sad, but ignores them. After a very long twist, the Nazi officer turns and walks away. He goes over to the crowd of Jewish people who are still crying and shouting because some of them have been shot and their children are still being put into a truck. He goes up behind a woman and points his gun at the back of her head. I try to scramble up so I can go over and stop the Nazi officer. I can't stay on my feet. I'm too dizzy. I fall back down onto my knees. The Nazi officer shoots the woman. Oh, Zelda screams. The man turns her away from the horrible sight and starts to take her off through the crowd of gawking locals. No, yells Zelda. I am not going without Felix. She struggles and kicks. The man turns and stares at me. He looks very weary, as if having his beard twisted and seeing innocent people being shot to death is bad enough. The last thing he needs is a kid who can't stand up and has just started vomiting. I try to tell him I'm looking for my mom and dad, but more vomit comes out and the whole street goes spinning away from me. Felix is struggling as he hasn't had anything to eat. This book is utterly amazing. Each chapter starts with once, because Felix is a storyteller. And when he is in the Catholic orphanage, he tells stories to the kids to keep them calm. And he ends up telling stories to Zelda along the way. And so he's telling us his story. Beautiful book series. I want you to know what's out there in young adult lit. I am known as the book dealer. I have a site called thebookdealer.net. If you want to take a look at it, it's a resource for teachers, and it does have current young adult lit reviews on there, as well as one side that's donated to K5 young adult, or really not young adult lit, but K5 lit, and my daughter writes the book reviews. So take a look at it if you get a chance. Hope you have a great week.